taking place on the outskirts of Dublin. The feud between two prominent families, Butlers of Ormond and Fitzgeralds of Kildare. And Butlers were actually losing the battle, so they escaped and they found the shelter in the Cathedral, actually in a chapter house, which that time was the opposite part of the Cathedral. Now it's South Transept, but it used to be a separate area called chapter house. So Butler's family locked themselves inside and refused to leave. So Fitzgeralds, they followed Butlers to the Cathedral and they actually wanted to make a peace. So they asked Butlers to come out, but they refused. Then the head of the Fitzgerald family, Gerald the Fitzgerald, he ordered to make a hole in the door of chapter house. He put his arm through that hole and shake hands with Butlers. The peace was made. The door is called the Door of Reconciliation. It's located over here. And there is a famous Irish saying, to chance your arm, it comes from this stone.
1492 chance your
arm.
arm.
North Transept, there are many military-related objects in here. If you look above, you can see the flags. These are some of the colors of Irish regiments being a part of British Army before Irish independence. So Irish regiments, for example, the Connaught Rangers, Royal Irish Regiment, Royal Dublin Fusiliers. Some of these flags remember even Napoleonic wars. The oldest ones are from 1850s. You might ask why they are in such a bad condition. So there's also a tradition behind that, because there is a famous saying that soldiers, they never die, they slowly fade away. And it's the same about the flags. We are not allowed to move these flags, to conserve them, to basically do anything, because they are left here for a slow decay in honor to fallen soldiers. There is a dispute taking place right now. Should we maybe conserve them for the future generations, or maybe not? Maybe we should leave them like that in honor to fallen soldiers. There is no decision made, but I personally think that we should conserve them because they don't look very well, and that's good to have them for future, to show children and grandchildren how it really looks like. So there is another monument here, one of the newest ones. It was installed here a few years ago. It's actually called the Tree of Remembrance, and it's dedicated to a centenary of the First World War. It features the tree destroyed by a war, surrounded by a barbed wire, and everyone who comes to the cathedral is encouraged to leave a little message on the leaf for someone who was affected by any conflict and got suffered from any conflict. So if you have any chance later on after the tour, I really recommend coming back here and leave a little message on one of those leaves. Yeah? So I'm going to show you the organ now, which is on the other side.